Hey everyone, it's Chase from Sequoia Wellness, and today we are going to talk a little bit about returning to exercise after an extended break. So, unfortunately, over the past 2 months, a lot of us have seen a decrease in our exercise or our physical activity and due to the closing of gyms, myself included. So, I know everyone is really excited to get back in here and get back into their old routines and hit the gym hard again. That's great. I can't wait to see you. I know all the staff's excited to see you. We're just going to talk about a few things that we need to be aware of when we're coming back to make sure we're safe and we're avoiding injury so we don't have to take a longer break than we intended to. The first thing we're going to talk about is cardiovascular exercise, how our body adapts to it, and how we can expect to feel when we return to a cardiovascular exercise after an extended break. So when we use our muscles during exercise, they require oxygen, which it receives from blood. The more we exercise, the more oxygen our muscles are going to need, and our body adapts by creating new vessels to supply those muscles with oxygen from blood. So this is one of the reasons why exercise actually reduces our blood pressure. More vessels equals less stress on the vessels that we had previously. So when we return to exercise after an extended break, it is not uncommon for us to feel a bit out of breath or become fatigued more quickly than we were used to. This is simply because our body's becoming deconditioned and we're not keeping up with our regular exercise. This is completely normal, and good news, we will return to our previous state quicker than it originally took us to get to where we were pre-COVID, pre-shutdown. Because our body isn't going to get rid of those blood vessels it created. They're still going to be there. They're just not using as many due to the fact that our body's at rest and our muscles don't need as much oxygen when we're resting. So, however, this does not mean you should come in and try and take 3 classes our first day back, or try and PR your mile run or bench press on the first day back. Come in, take it slow. We'll talk about a few ways to kind of reintroduce exercise into our day a little bit later in the presentation. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what happens to our body during resistance training and what happens to our muscles. So when we use our muscles during exercise, our muscle fibers are actually going to pull apart from themselves, and then after we are done working out, we go have something to eat, and we rest, our muscles are working on repairing themselves, and they return thicker and stronger than they previously were. Essentially, this is how we build muscle. So when we take time off from exercise and regularly using our muscles through resistance training, whether it be the free weights machines or a class, that time off, we're going to feel a little bit weaker when we come back. So our first few times back in the gym, we might feel a little bit more sore than normal. We might be a little achy. And these are all normal things, but it's just something that you need to be aware of when we return, that we need to be careful and listen to our bodies before jumping back in 110% everything. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about a few tips that we can use in our first few weeks coming back in the gym and kind of getting back into the routine and getting adjusted to, the changes you might see around Sequoia. So I know a lot of people haven't been able to exercise as much and they're looking forward to getting back, and that's awesome. I can't wait to see everyone. But trying to jump back in 110% to make up for lost time isn't the way to go about things. And we could end up hurting ourselves and having to take more time off. So the first few times you come back, first few weeks even, just be content with moving. Come back in, get your body readjusted to using, the equipment, taking a class, just kind of moving in general. This is going to be an easy way to kind of reintroduce exercise into our work lives or our home lives as well. Monitor your body a little bit more. So if your heart rate feels a little abnormal, or you feel a little bit more out of breath, or a little bit too sore, go ahead and take some time to rest. It's going to be okay. Missing a day or two after coming back is okay, but we don't want to end up having to miss a week or 2 weeks because of injury. Drinking water is important. So when we're not moving as much, we might not feel the need to drink as much water. I know I'm guilty of it myself. Being stuck at home, I'm not drinking as much water. I might be a little dehydrated. So we want to make sure we're drinking enough water at home and while we're at Sequoia as well. These are going to keep us, our body healthy and, safe. And then lastly, like I said before, go ahead after your first day, maybe take a day off in between our, coming back. This is going to give our body a time to adjust, heal, recover, make sure we're 100% so we can come back in and, get a good workout in. Lastly, remember, have fun. Remember how exercise made you feel and enjoy it. We're here for you. We can't wait to see you and welcome you back. So I hope this video was able to, kind of give you a little bit of information on, things we should be doing when we come back to exercise and how to do it safely. Thanks. Have a good one.